Imagine a president who says we will stand up and defeat radical Islamic terrorism. And we will call it by its name. We will defend the United States of America.
All right, there he is, Ted Cruz, still the only declared presidential candidate in all of the United States of America. And although she's not declared, she's with us nonetheless. Mary Matalin, Republican political consultant, of course, and former advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney and former campaign director for President George Bush and the whole thing. The list is just too long to go on. Mary, welcome back.
Okay, so stop. Listen, that's what, did it make your heart sing? That's what courageous conservatism looks like. We haven't seen it for so long we don't recognize it. We've become illiterate on our founding documents, our founding principles. We think our rights come from Washington, D.C. That was a beautifully delivered, beautifully constructed, inspirational example of true conservatism. And I love calling it courageous because that's what it is.
Yep, I couldn't agree with you more, and I'm a big fan of Ted Cruz. But if you listen to Congressman Peter King, it wasn't so good, and Cruz is all kinds of names. If you listen to the media, you get everything from he's scary, he's mean, he's this, he's that, to, get this now, his degrees from Harvard and Princeton will not appeal to the Republican base, whatever the heck that means. I mean, they're trying to destroy him, and the establishment Republicans are too.
You know what? I would consider all of that a compliment to the danger he represents to everybody, and I include faux Republicans who are just part of the crowd. You know, they're definitely. I think the Republican base and normal mainstream Americans, forget the Republican base, normal Americans are so frustrated with both parties in Washington, but conservative Americans are more frustrated with the Republican Party because they don't recognize it. It's just one giant big mishmash of federal intrusion. It's completely absent from more liberty, least intrusion, which were our founding principles, and we did pretty well by for our first 2 centuries. So I consider these attacks and the vitriol of them and the ferocity and velocity and to be a compliment to his prowess.
All right, who do you think? I mean, what are his chances? Because look, if it's going to be him and you got Mike Huckabee and Rick Santorum, I mean, if it's just those three on the conservative side, I'm afraid they split the vote, and we have a repeat of 08 and 012. Where in 08, of course, it was McCain, and in 012 it was Romney, and you're not going to get a conservative candidate out of all this.
I don't think that's going to happen. First of all, we're going to have a plethora. We're going to have the full spectrum of conservatism, not just courageous, but competent conservatism represented by Walker and others, you know, governors with a record that they can stand in right now. Then we have the 2 strategies, the Rand strategy is to expand the electorate by appealing to non-traditional voters. He's been going into minority communities and such. Yep. And then there's the Cruz or the Bruiser strategy, which is to expand the electorate by bringing out conservative voters, close to 8 million of them, who have sat home for the last 2 cycles. And what Republicans need to understand is their victories in the midterms, which were routs, were not a validation of republicanism. They were an opposition of a really, really intense opposition to Obama government expansion, role and scope of government intrusiveness. Because by strategically, our specific stated strategy was just to run against Obama, not to run our own agenda. So Walker and everybody's going to run on their records, or they're going to run on their ability to articulate. They're going to run on what conservatism really is. And I'm so thrilled about the field that we can actually sit through a debate and not have to get drunk to get to the first commercial break.
Yeah. All right, let me play you something that I think her name is Hillary Clinton said the other night. speaking to a bunch of journalists who, by the way, gave her a standing ovation. Whether or not your husband was there, I do not know. But here's what she had to say.
I am all about new beginnings. A new grandchild, another new hairstyle, a new email account. Why not a new relationship with the press? So here goes. No more secrecy. No more zone of privacy. After all, what good did that do me?
All right. She also said, by the way, look under your chairs. There's a document that my lawyer says you have to sign on the way out. You know what? She can't even pull off self-deprecating humor. She can't pull it off.
It is hard. She has some great thinkers. She's trying everything, but you either can pull it off or you can't, and you can't mask over what is really between Benghazi and this email thing. I know the press doesn't get it, doesn't either willfully ignoring it or willfully ignorant, but if you've been watching my old friend Shannon Coffin talk about this.
Oh, yeah, we had him on the other day, yeah.
Oh, okay, well then I mean, this is like if people, but I don't even think that's her main problem. I think it's had a real effect and impact on the Democratic Party, who are going over trying to say she's the inevitable one, she's the saint, she's the chosen one. But the behind the scenes, the Elizabeth Warren factions, the Jim Webb factions, I'd watch out for Jim Webb. Everyone's discounting him, but that guy is a real fighter. And the notion that we're going to go backwards to another Clinton or that is, I think that's her strategic problem. And the email and Benghazi and all that, the press is not talking about, but behind the scenes, Democrats are.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. Mary, great to talk to you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll speak to you soon.
Laissez-les bon temps rouler. Come visit us in NOLA.
I will try. I've been there. I was there once for a Super Bowl, actually. We'll talk about that.
Come for Jazz Fest. Come and visit.
I will next time, I promise. We'll talk. Mary Matalin, ladies and gentlemen.
Love you.
Thank you. You too. Up next, Deputy Research Director for the Media Research Center, Jeffrey Dickens, will be here to talk about how the media has gone after Ted Cruz. Who else? But